Viva Garnacho, running down the wing, hear United sing, Viva Garnacho. Manchester United have just won 2-1 v Fulham at Craven Cottage. Everyone thought it was going to be a draw. Garnacho come through. We've got a new superstar on our hands. Let's get into the match reaction.
Between the lines.
Yes, my Between the Liners, goosebumps still on my arms, still on my body. Garnacho, we've got a new superstar in the making. I've been saying it in my match reactions in the last few games. Every time the kids come on, every time he started, direct, positive, unbelievable player. Has defenders scared, has a fullback scared. They don't know which way he's going to go. The way he takes the ball on the run, the way he runs with the ball with pace, fantastic. What a player. Viva Garnacho, taking over Ronaldo, running down the wing. Hear United sing, Viva Garnacho. Let's get into the game. And to be honest, I wasn't feeling like this 10 minutes ago, you know, because that last 5-10 minutes, I was a bit disappointed the way United were playing. Before I get into the game, shout out Bruno Fernandes making his 100th Premier League appearances. And I saw some stats before the game, yeah? Let me just read this out to you because Bruno gets a lot of criticism. Since he's come into the Premier League, since he made his Premier League debut, he scored the 4th highest amount of goals in the Prem. And this isn't midfielders and strikers or just Man United. This is all Premier League players. He scored the 4th amount of goals in his last 100 appearances in the Prem, which is 38. He's got the 2nd highest amount of assists, which is 26. He's got the 2nd highest chances created, which is 243. He's got the most passes in the final third, which is 2,558 passes in 100 Premier League games. Bear in mind, this is the best league in the world. These are the stats that Bruno Fernandes is putting up. Yes, I agree. Sometimes on the eye, he's not the greatest. Sometimes he forces the pass. But just look at the numbers. The things that this guy has done is remarkable. Shout out Bruno Fernandes making his 100 Premier League appearances in the Premier League. And also, just to emphasize his importance even further, on his 100th Premier League appearance, he gets an assist. Whether he meant it or not, I don't know. I'll let you lot decide. But let's get into the game. We'll take it to the starting lineup first. And to be honest, look, as soon as we all see, as United fans, we see Elanga in the starting lineup, there's huge question marks, huge concerns. Other than that, Malacia at right back was a concern. But I'll be honest, I understood what Ten Hag was doing because obviously he doesn't rate Wan-Bissaka. Where the hell is Wan-Bissaka, by the way? I got why he played Malacia on the right and why he chose to play Shaw on the left. It did make sense. And I also understood why he played Elanga on the right because obviously Anthony's out, Sancho's out, Rashford's pretty ineffective on the left. It would have been either play Rashford on the right and play Garnacho on the left, which probably isn't fair to Rashford considering he's a senior player, he's on form, doesn't play well on the right, so it's only fair to play him on the left. And obviously Martial's back fit again, so got to give him minutes. So I got why Ten Hag played Lang on the right. Let's take it into the positives of the game first, yeah? We'll get to the things that we need to improve after, yeah? Positives of the game, I thought straight from the off, Rashford was so sharp. From the first minute, you could see how sharp he was. And it bodes well for the rest of the season, I hope. And especially for him with England as well. The way he's changed his form around, especially compared to last season, this sharpness is exactly what we need from Rashford. And it looks like he's becoming the Rashford of old that we saw at least in like the lockdown times or the times when he's playing well together with Martial when we had Oli in charge in terms of taking it back to his best form. And also Bruno Fernandes is slowly getting to his best form as well. Obviously, when he's shunned out to the right, he probably doesn't perform as well, but we'll get to that later. Other than that, I thought that De Gea did well throughout the game. He was coming off his line a lot more, as he has done in recent times. Made some good saves as well. Couple shots that he should have caught, I thought, but he's making it look a bit flashy, the saves, for some reason. Like, you know, Dave loves a good picture. Other than that, positives of the game, which you could say it was a negative, to be honest, but I felt like, I don't know if that was a plan, but we kept allowing Fulham to dominate possession, and I think our plan was to play on the counter. I'm not sure if that's how Ten Hag planned it to be, because ideally I'd rather we controlled possession, because we let Fulham onto us too much, and then once you give Fulham opportunity, the crowd starts pushing them further, and then they start creating more and more chances, and it puts us on the back foot. So whether that was intentional or not, I feel like it might have been, and we did seem to stick to that plan. And you could say it worked for the first goal. Casemiro tackle, and then I think it was Eriksen pass, Martial involved, Bruno involved. Obviously, it was a cross or a shot, whatever you guys think. I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt and say it was an assist. Or he meant the assist to Eriksen. Eriksen sliding in, which was good. In the first half and the second half, I thought, one positive, obviously the negative is we didn't score them, but the positive is that we did create quite a few chances, and that's something I've criticised the team for, especially against teams lower down in the league. We did create quite a few chances, and although we didn't take them, the positive sign is that we're creating the chances. And I think one positive behind that is obviously with Martial plays, our attacking lineup is a lot more fluid. When Ronaldo plays, it's a lot more static, a lot more turgid, and we don't seem to create as much. And I wouldn't even say that Martial is playing at his firing best right now. He still seems he's obviously not as sharp as Rashford. You can see that in his play, but the impact he has on the team is there for everyone to see. We seem to be creating a lot more when he's involved, and his hold-up play is a lot better. Everyone says that his pressing is better than Ronaldo, but I didn't really see much pressing from Martial today. I guess he's smarter with his press rather than aggressive with his press. It's about shutting down the half space and trying to block two options with one in the mid when you go in the middle of a space to try and block the opponent playing out. Look, Fulham, credit to Fulham because they battled hard as well. They tried passing it out from the back, which I was quite surprised. Very brave of them this year around as well, especially. And if they had Mitrovic on another day, this game might have gone completely different. But that's the positives. Another positive as well, when Garnacho came on, I thought the game completely changed. Or not completely changed, but it gave us a lot more of an attacking threat, because before he came on, Fulham were really pressing us hard. They were really creating a lot of chances, and it looked like we might even lose the game. Once Garnacho comes on, every time the ball comes out to Garnacho, the Fulham defence is retreating, because they know he's about to attack them one way or another. He's either go down the left, or he's going to cut inside and attack them, putting in a ball in the box or something. And like it's proved the goal, let's talk about that goal. Christian Eriksen, thank you. But that's his bread and butter. We know what Eriksen can do. That 1-2 pass, the deftness on the pass, the weight on the pass. We know Eriksen can do that. Let's talk about Garnacho. The way he gets on the ball when he receives a ball, that first touch, almost every single time he takes a first touch when he gets a ball on the run is almost inch perfect. I don't know how he does it. I ain't seen much of Garnacho play in the youth teams, but it's absolutely sensational the way he takes the ball on the first touch. And then the second touch is even better, places it in front of him just perfectly so that he has two options. He either takes it down the line, attacks a fullback, or he cuts inside and puts in a ball across or tries to take a shot himself. He's just so good at the little crisp touches to keep control of the ball. And then the pass from Eriksen, I actually didn't think was that great in my opinion. The weight of the pass was as good as it could have been in that short amount of space. The 1-2 was the right idea. But for Garnacho to get that, he looks second best. And Bobby the Cordova-Reid is no mug, you know. Like, he's a decent right back. I think he used to be a winger before, but he's actually a very solid right back, yeah. And he had Rashford. He gave Rashford a good game throughout the whole game, but Garnacho went past Bobby the Cordova-Reid so easily. What, in about 10 minutes, he took him on about 6-7 times and got past him almost every single time. Otherwise, he went back and kept it. You know, that's another thing about Garnacho I really like. Every time he gets on the ball, he very, very, very rarely loses the ball. But we take it back to the goal. The pace to get in behind Bobby Reid after the Eriksen 1-2. And the finish, left foot, rolls it into the bottom corner. That composure you don't see from young players often, you know. I'll give you an example. Elanga had not a similar chance, but he got in behind one point. I think it was around the 60th minute. Had it on his left foot, and he just had like no power on his shot, and just the finishing was poor. I've got the game on here to the side. I'm just trying to find out who was man of the match, so I can't hear the press conferences after. I think they're giving the man of the match to Eriksen, probably because he got a goal and assist. Probably makes sense. You know what? If the game ended 1-1, I might have given it to Paulinho. He had a solid game in the midfield. But Garnacho, the finish, the pace, the impact on the team, I don't see how he doesn't start every game now. Well, I guess the problem is when Anthony comes back, then who starts in this situation? Because Anthony we paid 100 mil for and was in decent form. Rashford's on great form in my opinion. Garnacho is almost becoming undroppable at the moment. Martial is kind of like the glue up front. So, look, positive selection problems, questions. Who starts when everyone's fit? But it's good to have options. Shout out the young kid Garnacho. Gave me goosebumps at the end of the game. I don't want to say it, but Ronaldo-like in terms of his start to his career, not obviously the superstar that Ronaldo will be. I doubt Garnacho will ever be that superstar. But in terms of coming up as a youth team prospect and coming up as a young, exciting winger, very, very impressed. Very excited for what is to come from the future. And not even this near distant future. I'm talking about the season coming after the World Cup. Very excited for Garnacho and for United, especially down that wing. Look, let's get into the negatives, yeah, because I'm not going to lie. Before that goal went in, yeah, like I said before, my mood was not like this. And it was very kind of, not depressing, but very, very flat, I thought. Especially that whole United performance. A lot of it was very flat. And I said that it might have been a positive to be playing on the counter, but this goes back. I've said this in a couple match reaction videos. I don't like the fact that we're sitting back a lot and letting teams play in front of us. This is Fulham. No disrespect to Fulham. They've just been promoted this year. We should be controlling that game. Like, we should be dominating the ball. Like, you don't, as a team trying to fight for top 4 or trying to challenge for the title in the near distant future, if not this season, we should be controlling the ball a lot better. Why is it that we've got a midfield of Casemiro, Eriksen and Bruno and we can't hold on to the ball more? And this takes me on to Casemiro, yeah? Especially in the first half, and even some of the second half. I'll be very interested to look out on his stats. In the World Cup, while the World Cup's on, I'm gonna do a Manchester United reality check video at one point, and I'm gonna look at Casemiro's stats, because on the ball, the amount of times he's given away possession is very concerning to me. His tackles are completely fine, his robustness is completely fine, and his defensive work rate is very good. And some of his passing, his forward passing is good. And I completely understand what he's trying to do. I like what he's trying to do because he's kind of similar to what I do when I'm playing CDM. He gets the ball. As soon as the ball comes to him, he tries playing the first time pass ahead and direct, just like Martinez does quite a lot as well. The problem with Casemiro is a lot of these passes aren't finding the United team. We're giving it back to them and then we're back under pressure, and it gives Fulham more emphasis and desire and determination to come and attack us because the crowd get behind them as well, and then we're under pressure, and that's why we lost a lot. We gave away a lot of chances to the opposition because I felt like Casemiro and Eriksen as well, they kept giving the ball away too many times. And Bruno Fernandes, look, Bruno Fernandes is basically our captain this season, yeah? The way he gave that ball away to Fulham and it allowed them to attack us for their first goal, yeah? It's not good enough. Like, you should be smart enough to know if you are not going to keep that ball in, don't give it away to the opposition for them to attack, because then Malacia's already going forward. Both of our fullbacks are going forward, and now we're caught out of position. Our defence is struggling. Casemiro can't get back quick enough. Eriksen can't get quick enough. Willian's gone down the line. And then Tom Kearney is getting assists for Dan James to score against us. Do you know how embarrassing that is? We had to get rid of Dan James because he wasn't good enough for us. And to be honest, shout out Pereira because he looked all right as well. Like, we made Pereira and Dan James look good against us. But yeah, I wasn't impressed with that from Bruno. And this goes back to why Bruno is on the right-hand side. I've said it in some of my other match reactions as well. I don't think it works. Like, look, today, what did he do for us on the right-hand side? I didn't see him put in one good cross. Didn't really have to work that hard. But I guess that's why he might have been put on the right. Because, to be honest, one thing that concerned me as well is Malacia, throughout that whole game, did not look great on the right-hand side at all. And that's not his fault. Obviously, he's not a right-back. But you'd think he'd be a bit more convincing. But I don't know how old William was, but he got past Malacia so easily, so many times. William must be like 35. The guy got shipped out to Brazil last year because he wasn't good enough for the Prem. And now look, he's taking on Malacia like Malacia's not even there. So that's something I think Malacia really needs to work on. Yes, it's not his preferred side, but to be taken on that easily by a winger, That should be your bread and butter, Malacia. So I'm not very happy with that. But I don't also blame him. Look, he had Elanga there on his right-hand side throughout 60 minutes of the game. Then he had Bruno Fernandes there, who's obviously not a right winger. So I don't want to criticise Malacia too much, but in terms of the defensive ability to tackle a winger and to stop his winger, to stop the cross from going in, to stop the supply, I wasn't impressed by Malacia's defensive work rate, defensive actions at least, sorry. Other than that, look, Elanga on the right-hand side, like, I get why he played there, but his ability on the ball is so poor. Just like, what does he provide? Other than work rate and maybe tracking back here and there, he's not smart at all. His first touch is abysmal. His ability on the ball is abysmal. I just don't think he should be starting for this Manchester United team. And yes, our lack of options are evident because of the injuries. But in this situation, I don't know. Do you play Rashford? Let me know in the comments. What do you think you guys should do or we should do? Do you play Rashford on the right and then he suffers because he's not great on the right, and play Garnacho on the left? Or what? Do we play Garnacho on the right? I don't know how Garnacho is played in the youth teams. Is it strictly on the left or is he up front? Has he never played on the right? Because we need another option on the right when Anthony's not playing, because Sancho doesn't seem to play well on the right either. Just Elanga's technical ability is very, very poor. How he's playing this many games for Manchester United is not acceptable, to be honest. If Elanga's playing for United, I should be playing on United. I'll do a better job on that right-hand side than Elanga. I don't know about that, you know. He runs harder than me. He's fitter than me. I don't know. Still, technically on the ball, what's wrong with the guy's first touch? Anyway, I don't want to make this Elanga run. He's just a kid. Is he going to World Cup, by the way? It's mad. Elanga, man. He's frauding his way to his career. Scott McTominay come on the pitch, and I've also said this in some of my match reaction. This is what, look, I'm not a manager. I'm nowhere near Ten Hag's capabilities or level of thinking or understanding of the game. But it seems every time we seem to put on Bruno on the right and we bring on McTominay and we take on a natural winger, the game seems to go in the opposition's favour. Yes, we've won the game, and to be honest, we've probably only won it because of a bit of magic from Garnacho. Some credit to the manager for bringing him on, I guess. But this change of putting Bruno to the right and bringing McTominay into the middle and then playing McTominay cam. The guy's not even good enough on the ball to play CM or CDM or box to box. How does Ten Hag expect him to play cam? Like, this is a specialist role in the Premier League, and it's almost a role that's almost dying out. Like, you don't really see many cams these days, yeah, that plays strictly cam in the Premier League. But we're relying on McTominay to come on there and play there. I'd rather play Casemiro and McTominay together and put Eriksen in the cam, because that's his position throughout 10 years of his career. So it doesn't really make sense to me. But Scott, like, he weren't that bad. Some of his turns on the ball and transitioning from midfield to attack was good, and he made a couple good switches out to Garnacho. But some of his ability on the ball, his technical ability on the ball, isn't great. He had a good chance to score as well, maybe 2 chances. This is another criticism of the team as well. We miss a lot of chances, and a better team will punish us. Especially if the way we counter and let teams play on the attack against us and dominate the ball, better teams than Fulham will punish us. I think on the basis of the game, I don't think we deserve to win, to be honest. A draw would have been fair. Both sides had decent chances. I don't think either team really dominated that game and deserved to come out with a win. But thanks to Garnacho, we've got the win. Something else we seriously need to improve on is keeping possession. As I've mentioned quite a few times, the amount of times we gave the ball away in the first half and the second half was so careless. And it's just not good enough, in my opinion. For a team of this stature, this quality, we should be keeping the ball against them a lot more. It's just simple passes, and that, I think a lot of it, unfortunately, stems from Casemiro. He gave the ball away a lot, and it kind of, you can't build up your play and keep possession if your CDM keeps giving it away, because he should be the one setting the tone. Martinez into Casemiro and then Eriksen, they should be setting the tone for the team to keep possession. And unfortunately, we didn't do that throughout the whole game. And that's a bit of a concern, because we've done that in quite a few games, especially against the teams that are lower down in the league or aren't the top 6, the supposed top 6. And other than that, yeah, one more thing I want to talk about, and it's pissing me off now, to be honest. Why are we so bad at set pieces, attacking and defending? Teams seem to find like these ways to especially when they've got a corner or set piece, they come up with some creative way to always find a free man in our box. I think it was Paulino on their team who had a great opportunity. He was completely unmarked. There's no one around him in the box within 3 or 4 yards. How is that possible in an opposition set piece? Why are we so bad at defending set pieces? I don't know how many goals we've conceded from set pieces, but I'd assume it's quite high. But it's just not good enough. And we've only scored 1 goal from a set piece this season. And I think last year it might have only been 1 or 2, which is a disgrace. This is a clear way to get goals in the Premier League. You know, when the margins are so fine, you need to take advantage of set pieces, and we're just not capable. I don't know what it is. I don't know what set piece coach we've got, or what Ten Hag's doing with the set pieces in training, but it's just not acceptable. It's not good enough. We need to take advantage of more set pieces. We also need to be better defensively with set pieces. Get me in that box, I'll score some headers, and I'll get rid of some headers. It's simple as that. Sign me up. Look, let's take it onto the match roundup. Think about it, yeah? Fulham didn't even have their best player in their team today, Mitrovic. If Mitrovic was playing, I don't know how this game would have gone. Chances are we might have even lost it. And the fact that we've won it, though, in the last minute, Garnacho shows his mental strength and his capabilities and the team spirit as well. So I'm very glad with that. And look, it gave me goosebumps. I've calmed down a little now. But yeah, we've won the game. Very important 3 points. And just on the whole, I don't know how many players Fulham have got going to the World Cup, but I felt like United specifically were so flat in that game and didn't really look like we were giving 100% intensity. And I guess I can't really blame them because obviously the World Cup is 1 week away. So I don't know, just the intensity wasn't there, and I'm going to blame the World Cup on that. And obviously we weren't really that intense against Villa last week either, so some slight signs may be showing of us slowing down, getting tired, and I don't blame them because we played week in, week out, Wednesday, Sunday, Thursday, Sunday, Thursday, Sunday, and it's clearly taking its toll on the players, it looks like, at least. If Fulham were a bit more aggressive, I thought, other than like Paulino was quite aggressive, if they were a bit more aggressive, I think they would have punished us a lot more, especially because some of our players look really tired. Eriksen kind of looked like he was cruising through that game, but if Fulham were pressing him a lot more, they probably would have punished us a lot more. So yeah, that was a game. I felt like it was quite rigid, a lot, especially from United, quite lackluster, but we won the game, so that's positive. Other than that, look, Martial back as well, and although he didn't look at his sharpest, the impact he has on the team is very evident, makes things more fluid for the front line, and I guess provides an option for the midfielders. And also, you know what, the lack of movement in the second half really, really surprised me, you know. The front line just looks so static. Casemiro and Eriksen looking for options, Martinez looking for options, and just everyone standing still. I blame Rashford for that. I blame Garnacho slightly for that. I blame Bruno for that. Especially if he's on the right-hand side, yeah? We know he loves playing in the middle. Come in the middle and look for the ball. Unless Ten Hag told you stick out wide on the touchline, come in the middle, a bit more narrow, and try to create some options for your midfielders who are looking for you. Like, you're meant to take responsibility, and you need to step up there today, Bruno. And I don't know, man, he went hiding a bit, especially on the right-hand side. I don't completely blame him because he's obviously not a right midfielder, but we're relying on Bruno to step it up there in that final decisive moments, and I don't think he did really in that second half. But anyway, other than that, I'd like for us to control the ball a lot more, control possession, dominate games a lot more, especially against the lesser teams, which we didn't do, which we need to do, especially when the World Cup's over and done with and we come back to the Premier League. Ten Hag really needs to work on these players in the next 5 weeks and get them to start controlling the ball a bit more, gives him a bit more time to work on his philosophy around the team, obviously with the players that aren't going, such as Martial, Sancho, McTominay, guys like that who aren't going. Is McTominay going? Is Scotland going? I can't remember. Guys like that who aren't going, he needs to implement our style of play on them a lot more, and hopefully we come back a lot more fresher after the World Cup. Obviously, no one really knows how things are going to play out. But yeah, other than that, that was a match roundup. Shout out to Andreas Pereira as well, you know, because I'm not going to lie, when he was at United, obviously he was pre-season Polo, but when it comes to the real games, he was just so poor, so rash. His decision-making was poor. I thought he was all right today, you know. I don't know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments, but I thought he was pretty decent. I'm not saying I'll take him back at United, But considering a year ago, the Brazil team didn't want him, I think it's Flamengo, and I heard he made quite a few mistakes out there as well. He looked pretty efficient on the ball today, worked hard, didn't really give the ball away, put in quite a few decent crosses in there. He put in better crosses in there than Bruno did today. So fair play to Andres Pereira. Just goes to show that although you might think your career might be over, if you keep grafting, keep putting the work in, you can make a good career out, or a decent Premier League career that he seemed to be making out of it. And where it looked like his career was pretty much over and done with in Europe at one point. So shout out Andres Pereira. Shout out Dan James, I guess. Got to go. Didn't really do much else other than that. He did get past Martinez once, which I was quite surprised by. Shout out Martinez as well. Love his desire, love his aggression. Was a bit quiet today, I felt like. But maybe that goes along the fact that a lot of these players were kind of going in like not 50-50, but 75-25, not really 100% intensity. Looking ahead, and it ends in a bit of a downer. Cristiano Ronaldo, is this the last time we've seen him play for United? We're obviously not going to play until, I think it's the 27th December against Nottingham Forest at Old Trafford. Unfortunately, the end to Ronaldo's career at Man United hasn't been great. And it just goes to show, like, you never know how it's going to go when you go back to your previous thing. And you don't know how it's going to work out. And unfortunately, it hasn't turned out great for him with us. And it's just a shame, man. I feel sad. I feel very sad the way his United career is ending. If it is the end of his United career, I have no idea where he could possibly go in January, because who's going to take him for the money he's on, and who's going to be willing to almost disrupt their front lines with the fact that he would have to start most games, if not all games. Otherwise, he's going to be complaining and causing disarray in your team, in your changing room, in your locker room, because obviously Ronaldo wants to start 90 minutes week in, week out, regardless of who he's playing for, regardless of what competition it is, regardless of whether your team's winning or losing, regardless of the other players in that team. He'll want to play week in, week out, 90 minutes. So I think, looking ahead, it's going to be sad. I hope we give him some kind of good reception on his way out, because of the things that he's done for our team. And even last season, he put in a very, very, very good shift, very efficient shift, scored a lot of goals as well. So shout out Cristiano Ronaldo. If this is the end to your United career, I'm very thankful for everything you've done. I hope things go well for you in your career. You're still the GOAT. You're still the best footballer to ever touch a football on this planet. United looking ahead, Ten Hag's got some work to do, some questionable tactics in terms of substitutions and putting McTominay, Cam and Bruno on the right. Some things we need to work on. Hopefully once we come back from the World Cup break, we have a full strength squad, because today I think we only had 8 substitutes out of 9 and we had 2 goalkeepers on there. We need Anthony back. We need Sancho back. Sancho, I hope you work on your game within the next 6 weeks. I'll probably do a United video, maybe a reality check closer to when the Premier League's coming back, just so we can kind of enjoy the World Cup while it's on. Look, it's a Winter World Cup. It's in Qatar. Hopefully England bring it home. Seeing the other teams' squads and the strength of their squads compared to England's squad, I'm not too confident, but I hope it goes well. Watch out for a video we've got coming this Wednesday. We did our little predictions for who we thought should have gone to the World Cup and who we think should be in the starting lineup, and a bit of chat about the World Cup and the England team. So watch out for that. Look, Man United have won 2-1. It's the last game of the Premier League calendar before we go off for the World Cup. We've won in stoppage time, or the 90th minute. Alejandro Garnacho, Viva Garnacho, running down the wing. Hear United sing, Viva Garnacho. Manchester United have won. It's positive. It's very positive in terms of Ten Hag's start to Manchester United. Not been perfect, but we're seeing steps of and signs of process and a progress. So can't complain too much. Very happy Ten Hag's our manager. Very happy with Marcus Rashford. Happy with Bruno. Delighted with Garnacho. Happy with the team spirit. This is the Between the Lines podcast. Subscribe to the channel. Thanks for getting us past 200. I think last night when I went on YouTube, I was on 190 subscribers. Today it was on 204. Keep subscribing. Keep pushing the channel. I'll keep trying to push out the good content. I'm Adnan. I'm your host. This is Between the Lines podcast. Between the Lines podcast. like the video, share the video, subscribe. Let me know in the comments, who do you think man of the match was? They gave it to Ericsson. I might even give it to Garnacho. This is the Between the Lines podcast. See you on the next one. Peace out.